By listening to many people, watching countless YouTube videos, reading books, and listening to podcasts about diet, I came to the simple conclusion that the one perfect diet that works for everyone simply doesn't exist. But that shouldn't bother you, to be very honest, because you can quite simply actually find the perfect diet for you. Even though science hasn't yet found the perfect diet that works well and perfectly well for everyone, you can quite easily, by following the principles that I'm going to share with you in this video, find the one that works best for you. And so that's personally what I'm doing right now, because I used to be in that situation where I wanted to find out the diet that would make me feel amazing, and just I could eat things being at peace, that those were the things that were healthy for me, right? And so I was, as said, watching many YouTube videos, reading books, and listening to podcasts, listening to many people, but I was very frustrated because I felt like no one was agreeing on pretty much anything, right? We're not agreeing on whether butter is good or bad for us, whether vegetables are good or bad for us, whether eggs or meat are good or bad for us, whether dairy products are good or bad for us. And so there I was, really frustrated. Like, I used to ask myself, like, how the fuck is it possible that the more I search about diets, the more I realize that everyone is basically disagreeing on pretty much everything. Now, it wasn't until I read a book a few weeks ago that I discovered a very powerful principle that I'm going to share with you in just a second, that totally revolutionized the way I approach my diet, and that is making me actually discover the perfect diet for you. So what principle am I talking about? I don't want to waste your time any longer. It's just about testing everything on my own skin. Now think about this. We are all different. You are different to me, and you're even different to who you were a few months ago and who you will be in a few months, years, decades. Now, why are we all searching for the one diet that should work for everyone? Am I the only one thinking that that doesn't make a lot of sense? I mean, think about it. The 19-year-old lady that doesn't do a lot of movement, should she be eating like the 18-year-old athlete? Probably not, right? Probably not. And based on where we live, how our lifestyle is, based on our, genes and things like that, I think we should be eating different things. And it's actually backed by what you can see on everyday life, right? There are people that thrive on carnivore diets. There are people thriving on mixed diets. There are people thriving on just eating vegetables. Why is that the case? Is it because we can all adapt to everything? Or is it because we can all search the things that actually work best for us, and basically by eating those things we will be thriving? I think it's not because that we can all adapt to everything, because otherwise there wouldn't be any problem about diet anyways, right? If we could be thriving and eating everything and feel amazingly well, then there would be no problem about diet at all. We could all just eat everything and that's it. But that's simply not the case, right? That's simply not the case. And so I think it very probably is because we can all find the things that work best for us. And then if we eat those things, we'll basically feel amazing. Now, the problem is, how do I find those things that make me feel amazing, right? And it's actually very simple. By testing things on yourself, by following a few principles to do that, you will be able to craft your own perfect diet, to find the foods that work best for you, that make you feel amazingly well. You will know exactly what combinations, when and how much make you feel well. And with time, you will be basically finding your own perfect diet without having to be there jumping back and forth from one diet, then listening to that other guy telling you, that's total bullshit because of this and this and that other study, and now you try that other diet, and then the other one and the other one and the other one. And just like me, you feel frustrated and kind of like confused, right? So here are the principles, the steps that I personally follow to basically craft my own perfect diet. First thing, I now keep a meal journal. So here it is. I basically took out a piece of paper and I write down every single day since a few weeks now what I ate at breakfast, lunch, in the evening, kind of how much, in what order, and also at the other side of the page, I basically write down how I felt, right? And that is very important because you want to start observe yourself, your body, how you react to specific foods. If you feel maybe bloated, if you feel maybe, you know, that you don't go to the toilet that well, that you have nausea, that you don't, you know, sleep very well when you eat specific foods, that you simply don't feel very well, or things like that, or that you just feel amazingly well, you want to write that down. And then when you want to evaluate the foods that make you feel well and not make you feel so well, you want to be looking back at 36 to 48 hours earlier. Because you have to know that from start to finish, your whole digestion takes about those 36 to 48 hours. So if you feel bloated, or if you have symptoms that are more on the back end of your digestive system, like, you know, going to the toilet and things like that, you want to really be looking back at 36 to 48 hours earlier and see on your journal what you have eaten, how much, and maybe what combinations. So there are a few principles that make this testing thing way easier. First of all, I like to have a baseline of foods that I know make me feel well. Because if we try out 10 foods at the same time and we don't have a baseline that we know we thrive on, we're basically going to not know why we feel bad, right? You may have nausea or acidity or things like that, but you won't know why, because you have 10 foods that might be the problem. Or maybe it was a combination, so 2 foods were actually good, but a combination was the problem. And so it's very, very important to eat as little things as possible, just very few foods for each meal, just 1 to 4 things for each meal. Then have a baseline of things that really work well for you, and then just test singularly 1 food at a time, 1 food every meal maximum, ideally 1 food a day that you want to be testing. And then you repeat tests. You don't just test things once. You test nuts, for example, might be the problem for you, as it was for me. I used to love nuts so much, but then I used to feel like I was bloated and many other things, and I didn't know really what was the problem. So I did this journal, and within a few days, actually a few weeks, I realized that it were the nuts. It actually took me a few days, but I didn't really want to let go of my dear nuts because I really liked them. And so I actually procrastinated cutting them off. And yeah, but with more tests, I realized that they were basically fucking up my digestion, and I wasn't really feeling that well after eating them. And so I just cut them off. And by doing these things, by testing nuts and other foods, I am able to assess what things work well for me, which ones don't, and therefore I can basically craft my own perfect diet. This is the power of this method, testing everything on yourself. And now you know exactly how to also do that. You know, create a baseline of very few foods that make you feel well. For me, it's eggs, it's meat, it's fish, it's specific fish to be very honest, and some fruits. And then every meal, or even 1 a day, I test basically new things, new foods that I want to be implementing, that feel like I want to try them out. And then just follow a few normal things that kind of everyone agrees on. You know, don't eat seed oils, very processed things, no, you know, fried things, no very processed sugar and things like that. And you will be fine. And within a few weeks, few months, you will have a set of foods that you know exactly make you feel really well, and you can just with time add new things, test new things, cut things off, and create your own perfect diet. So really hope this video helped you out and that it got you to actually create your own perfect diet, or at least know how to create your own one. You just have to keep on pushing. You just have to have your journal, keep doing it. Don't forget about it, and with time, you will guaranteed create your own perfect diet. So, as said, really hope this video helped you out. If it did, make sure to leave a like and to subscribe to not miss on my future ones. Anyways, wish all the best and see you very soon.